There's something about an open road in Montana that makes you feel incredibly small in the very best way. This road trip took us through Big Sky country straight into one of the most powerful landscapes in North America, Yellowstone National Park. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you like road trips and wide open spaces and national parks that feel almost unreal, this trip is for you. Today I'm taking along with me on a road trip that led us through Yellowstone, filled with the epic scenery, the wildlife encounters, and a few surprises along the way. Okay, let's start off with getting there. And how did I get there? I actually, if you remember, I have a video on when I attended the Western College of Auctioneering. Met great people, really enjoyed my time there. But I actually flew from Vancouver, Seattle, Bozeman on Alaska Airlines, arrived in Bozeman to wake up to be charmed by Bozeman. Certainly it was popularized by the TV show Yellowstone. This is really where it's intended to happen. Paradise Valley, which you'll see in a moment. Bozeman has a lot to offer. It is, as you can see, gorgeous. I attended a rodeo. Really was just thoroughly impressed with my time in Bozeman. My husband actually drove with our dog from Vancouver with our Airstream to take in our final auction, and then we hit the road. Now, where we're driving before we enter the park is actually the Livingston. Heading east from Bozeman, heading into the park, we came in through the north entrance, and I had a booking to go on a trail ride. So we went straight to the area that's shown there by Tower Roosevelt. My one lesson learned here is I would have stopped in Mammoth and taken in the hot springs. This area, the north entrance of the park, is quite beautiful. You are immediately taken by how gorgeous Yellowstone is from the gate. It is a magical place, and there's a real reason why it has this designation of national park. Oh, the wildlife, probably one of my favorite things in Yellowstone. There are 67 different mammal species in Yellowstone, nearly 300 bird species, 16 types of fish species, 5 amphibians, and 6 reptiles. It is noted as being the highest concentration of free-roaming wildlife in the continental US. Largest concentration of elk and bison just roaming around the land. But this brings to a point that you'll see in my video is that all of a sudden people will just brake and stop and pull over, and sometimes not even pull over. They'll just be watching something, and I tell you, some of the little traffic jams that are caused and almost accidents that we saw was entertaining and a little scary at times. I understood that people's interest in the bison. And by the way, it's bison, not buffalo. Buffalo was incorrectly named way back when a settler thought it looked like another animal, most likely the buffalo of Africa or Asia, although they are not even close. The bison played a very important role in many cultures, including the indigenous, for thousands and thousands of years, but then became very scarce as settlements happened in North America. Does one get tired of seeing a bison stroll by your vehicle? Never. Every time it happened, whether it was near or far, it was something to just be in awe over. Okay, maybe the scenery is my most favorite part of Yellowstone. Really, I can't really pick, to tell you the truth. Yellowstone is enormous. It covers 8,983 square kilometers. That's almost 3,500 square miles, making that 2.2 million acres. And it's so vast that it actually covers portions of 3 states. 96% of the park is in Wyoming, 3% in Montana, and 1% in Idaho. It contains half of the world's geothermal features. I was taken by the scenes that I saw. I had never stood so close on a brink of a waterfall ever. The vast canyons, and I mean, every time you turned a corner, there was a different feature. There was a certain spiritual moment that you can't deny looking at such beautiful scenes. And obviously, you're going to see the geysers in Yellowstone. Yellowstone contains over 10,000 geothermal features. and about 500 of the world's 1,000 active geysers are here in Yellowstone. The interesting facts about Yellowstone are that it is considered a supervolcano, and about 640,000 years ago, there was this massive eruption, and that eruption caused the ground to collapse inwards. And now that specific land that fell inwards is the Yellowstone caldera. The result is geysers and that geothermal activity that we call Yellowstone National Park. The water is hot. Yes, there's signs all over. You are warned that you are to stay on the boardwalks at all times. Often, dogs are not allowed to come along with you. Just in case they do jump off of the boardwalks. If you know, you know, and you'll never forget it. That smell in the air, that rotten egg smell, is hydrogen sulfide. It's good old science, and it is just the release of gas from all the pressure. Old Faithful is always impressive, and that it's not always that faithful. It roughly erupts every 60 to 100 minutes. It is something to see, that is for sure, and crowds grow as it's coming closer, and the park boards show when they expect the next eruption to arrive, so you can take a hike close vicinity of the park and get back to watch the big show. Where to stay? Well, there is a lot of places, a lot of choices for you to stay. We, of course, had our little vintage 1968 Airstream, so we were comfy and cozy. There are about 5 different places to camp, including an RV park. The RV park was a little disappointing. It's very concrete, no trees, but the Grant Village campsite did have trees surrounding your campsite, so that's nice. Hotels, lots of hotels, gorgeous hotels. This is the Yellowstone Hotel, which is the oldest hotel in the park. Old Faithful and the lodge and cabins, which, funny enough, I had stayed there when I was in junior high in the little cabins. And one of the things that I was looking forward to is the nostalgic part of Yellowstone and seeing some of these old cabin buildings. The Old Faithful Inn, when I was young, made an indelible mark in my memory. And just I think it really did kickstart my love for this rustic cabin look and feel and architecture. It did not disappoint. It was equally as grand and beautiful, and I just stood in pure awe of this structure. It rises way above you, and it's just like an engineering feat. In the same inn, we went to the pub, and just all of the details, nothing was lost on me. I was soaking it all in, and I was so happy that it was exactly how I remembered it. Would I recommend this trip? I think you can tell by my voice that I really enjoyed myself. Sadly, but in a way, it was a beautiful last trip for Coco, our family dog. I had an event that she passed away from a few weeks after we got home. But it was so lovely to know that this was her last trip, and what a way to go to have had such a great vacation for a doggie. I was so inspired by Yellowstone that you will remember, or if you haven't seen it, I came home and we renovated our Airstream. I renovated it by being inspired by all things at the park, and even a pillow that I picked up and an old willy-nilly map that I used for wall covering. So if you haven't seen that, click at the end to my channel and go and see my Airstream reveal. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed the adventure through Montana, and maybe I will show the rest of the trip because we went Montana, Idaho, Washington State. Please leave me a comment, subscribe, you know the routine. Thanks, everybody.